So I've done a couple videos about this channel on YouTube, Tech for Sight. I wouldn't say it's for sight, but and this my video's been mainly talking about what she says about you need to be symbiotic with a machine. She's a behavioral scientist. God, explains why psych is a disaster. Is she, though? I wonder, is she really a behavioral scientist? Because she should see a behavioral specialist, in my opinion. I mean, I'm just a psych nurse, though. She says, what I'm really excited to explore is, how do we take pieces of our consciousness? And I don't want to say jack them up into the matrix, but, what are different ways in which our consciousness can live on beyond, this organic form? Well, Jesus talks about it in the Bible. I don't know if you considered that path, but somehow I kind of think you want to head people on a different path. But Jesus already had this covered. Consciousness can live on beyond, this organic form. And are we able to split our consciousness or have it be in multiple places at the same time? So that's something that I'm really interested in exploring. And the other piece of this is, I mentioned planets. We are obviously moving towards being an interplanetary species. So there's been a lot, I'll say, in the press and conversations about Mars. But there's also folks that are working on what it might be like to live, within the atmosphere of Venus. Oh, okay. Okay, of course. And so that's lots and lots of fun, just fun things to explore. You should explore seeing a behavioral specialist. I am working on a space venture studio called Gaia, where we're starting to explore some of these technologies and commercializations that can occur here on Earth that then have application in space, also working with folks in identifying what is their space strategy, because again, we are shifting. And as we're thinking about what the future of work looks like, we are also looking at what the future of business looks like and what that means. And there's application within space that companies really need to start to explore. Oh, okay, got it. And the consciousness piece that I'm exploring now is very much along the lines of that joint attention that on Earth that then have application in space. And I'm also working with identifying with folks their space strategy, because again, we are shifting as we are thinking about what the future of work looks like. Yeah, okay. So she's all tied to tech and venture capitalists. In fact, she's part of what's called, she's part of an organization called the Revolutionary Factory. Navigating the future, I help leaders and executives reimagine the systems in which we live, learn, and work. That explains so much of why things are a disaster. But yes, she is part of this, the Revolution Factory. She is a 4-time entrepreneur and angel investor with over 13 years of innovation experience. I hate when they talk about these people like that they're innovators. No, they're not. No, they're not true innovators. They don't even know how to be uniquely human. 13 years of innovation experience in various domains, including future forecasting, digital transformation, innovation strategy, product development, and consumer experience. She has also worked with a portfolio of over 50 brands and empowers leaders to prepare their organizations and their clients for the future. She currently heads up the Revolutionary Factory, advising senior executives of Fortune 500 companies, leaders of intergovernmental organizations and startups on technology-enabled decision-making to prepare their organizations for complex futures. What is complex, Janae? Janae, what is complex about the future? You people are making it complex, I would say. The Revolution Ventures, which is part of this, is a venture capital firm that focuses on early stage investments in technology-enabled businesses, aiming to disrupt major industries. Yeah, why are you trying to disrupt? See, that right there makes you a poor behavioral scientist. Why are you trying to disrupt anything? That's what it says. Aiming to disrupt major industries. It was founded by Steve Case, Don Davis, and Taj Savage, and is part of the Revolution LLC, which seeks to support entrepreneurs outside of traditional tech hubs. So see, tech has their hands in everything. But I really think that Janae here needs to get, maybe she needs to see somebody. Because this idea that we're going to live in Mars or the atmosphere of Venus, we barely take care of this planet, and God gave us, the biblical God, gave us domain here. He didn't say we had domain anywhere else. And considering the disaster that's been created here, and not to mention that we don't seem to even be able to control ourselves very well because of stuff like this, then do you think we should really go venturing off into multi-planetary space living? I think not. I think you need to get your shit together on the planet you're on first and have that in order before you go taking on the atmosphere of Venus or before becoming citizens of Mars. She also talked about patients and doctors and them being avatars, and is the conversation between the two avatars, are they still focused in on the conversation? Why are you people complicate everything. This is what Satan does, though. He complicates everything that doesn't need to be complicated. But when she brought up the virtual reality, it reminded me of many years ago. I had bought a brand new I had upgraded my Android, and when I upgraded it, I got one of those VR sets, for free. And it was cool. This was before I knew the craziness of tech, but you really feel totally immersed. And I noticed that there was like this breathing app, like to do deep breathing. And I thought this would be great. I was at Northwestern at the time, and I had just pushed, and I got it approved. I had to do this whole PowerPoint of how I was in the ER as a psych nurse, and I said, we should have pet therapy come through here. They go up to the behavioral health unit, and really pets, every psych unit should have pet therapy. They should. Pets can do something that humans cannot with some people. I mean, you can have a patient that's catatonic, that won't look at you, won't talk to you, anything, and a dog will come onto the unit, and they will sometimes even smile, but they'll go and pet the dog. They will. It's amazing what dogs do because people trust dogs. But I had to go through all the nonsense of trying to get it approved, even though it was approved on behavioral health, which was fine. I did a PowerPoint, did all this history on it, okay? And then Northwestern, because they own all the hospitals in my county, except for one that's way on the edge of the other county. It's like almost in the next county. But they ended up implementing it in all their ERs. And it was a good thing. It's good for the staff. It uplifts the staff to see it. These are therapy dogs. It was free. I mean, they're trained, but it was helpful. Like if a kid had to have stitches and the dog happened to be there, it would calm them down. I mean, there was all positive aspects of it. And so then my next thing was going to be looking at VR for serious anxiety, not for people with delusions or people like seeing things. That would not be good for them to be in a immersed VR system, but for calming people down that are having severe anxiety. But after listening and knowing what I know about tech today, I'm sure glad I didn't go down that road.